Everyone, and welcome to the UT Future Breakout Room. Thank you for joining us. So my name is Rachel, and I work with Transition Tennessee, so I'm going to be your breakout room host. So as I just said, as a reminder, this breakout room is being recorded. This session is primarily going to be a Q&A session, and you can ask questions via the chat. We don't have a ton of us in here, so you can also feel free to unmute yourself and turn your video on and just have it conversational. But if you're not comfortable with that and you want to put your question in the chat, I'll read those out to Emma and Allie. So if not, just remember to keep yourself muted when you're not speaking, just to cut down on background noise. And I think that's all of the introductory things I had. So I'm going to turn it over to Emma and Allie, and you guys can go ahead and start asking questions. So like I said, feel free to unmute yourself and ask her directly, or you can post it in the chat and I should be able to see it. It looks like I'm seeing the chat for the whole meeting from before, but hopefully I can see your chats here too.
Yeah, I can't see the chat anymore. Maybe I can. Oh yeah, okay.
Can you? Okay.
Yes. All right. We'll get it all worked out.
And I have some questions too if other people don't have any.
Great. Well, thank y'all so much for being here. Like I said, I don't make it to Transition Tennessee events often because they're not in East Tennessee, so the virtual thing actually works out for me and for us at Future. But also, you know, we are in the so our pilot program for residential is it's a 2-year program, pilot program, and we're going into our 2nd year. And Allie Sassport is here, and she is, well, I'll let you introduce yourself, Allie. Go for it. If you can see her, hopefully you can.
So for those that can't see me, I am Allie Sassport. My actual name is actually Alyssa Sassport, but I just go by Allie just to keep it a little bit shorter. But
Well, what year are you, Allie?
I am a 2nd year student.
You just finished your 2nd year.
Well, I just actually finished my 2nd year, but I am now a 3rd year student at the University of Tennessee Future Plus Education Program, and I am really excited about that.
Well, and Allie, what's different about this year coming up for you?
What's different is that I'll be having this, and I'll get to see some familiar faces that I've seen within the past few years.
Yeah. So Allie is going to be in our 2nd year of the on-campus dorm living program. So that's really exciting. Sorry, and my puppy is calling for my attention. I've been on Zoom literally for 10 hours now, so she's like, hello. But so we have the residential option, so hopefully people from all over Tennessee will be able to start looking at UT and the Future program to come and be evolved. So that was my purpose in saying that, is that we're not just going to be limited to East Tennesseans pretty soon. That's the goal anyway. So I apologize. Her name is Belle, and she wants a lot of attention right now.
Animal cameos are the best part of Zoom.
Right? Maybe if we have time, I'll bring her up so you can see her rascally little face. But yeah, I'm here to answer any questions that you had. I know I had to speed through. I'm very, Allie will tell you I use a lot of words. I'm very verbose. So that, you know, timing me makes me talk faster, but maybe not clearer. So I'm here to answer any questions you might have. Go over any information.
It looks like we have one question from Dwayne and Donna Wilkerson. Does the Future program provide transportation?
Yes, and I did not mention this, and I noticed as everyone else was mentioning it, but I was like, oh, I forgot. So we do not, actually, sorry for that, but so our students are on campus 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, so it's a 40-hour week with us. And students who live on campus or live in the apartments nearby on their own, you know, it's easy enough for them to get around. We have a on-campus bus system. and we have downtown trolleys, which are also free. So once you're on campus, it's free to get around, whether your internship is on campus or downtown. It's free to get around once you're there. We also have the T-Access bus, which is the point-to-point bus that all of our future students have access to. You can call the number, and let's say it's raining and you need to get from one side of campus to the other. You'll be able to call that bus and they'll pick you up and take you to the door-to-door. But in terms of getting to and from the program in the morning and in the afternoon, we do not provide transportation. There are options if you live in East Tennessee, or even if, you know, we've had families, and this isn't, you know, either you are going to be in East Tennessee or you're not, but we've had families relocate to Knoxville and the surrounding areas to come to the future program. And so once you get here, if you're in Knox County or the surrounding counties, there are like work-based and education-based transportation, like ETHRA. We have ETHRA in all the surrounding counties here around Knoxville, and then we have CAC, which is the same kind of deal inside Knox County. So if you, and they're usually insurance-based services. So if you set it up, they'll just come and pick your student up in the morning and take them to school, and then they'll pick them up at school and take you back to your home. The local bus system also has a disability pass that you can get. So if your student can ride the bus on their own after a few kind of tries, they can do that. Or they do for certain individuals can do the door-to-door pickup for that as well, for a small fee.
Does anyone else have any questions? I have a question for Allie, if not. So Allie, what internships have you had, or have you had any internships at UT Future yet?
I have had a total of maybe 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
I've had, my first year I've worked at the Daily Beacon, and I think that was combined with, I don't remember if that was my, or actually my first year was at the YMCA Garden, which was downtown.
Mm-hmm.
My second year was combined with 2 internships actually, and that was the Daily Beacon at UT and the ETPRI, which is not that.
You always remember it. You taught it to me.
It's been like so many.
It's been about a year. Are you phoning a friend?
No.
Okay. ETPRI.
ETPRI and
East Tennessee Permaculture Research Institute. So what did you do for them?
At first, at ETPRI, I was working on the social media program that they had there. But then again, I was also working with the garden stuff there as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What was your goal coming into the program? What did you think you wanted to be?
At first, I actually wanted to be a journalist, but on second thought, I thought that was going to be. I have many changing goals, and that's kind of how my brain works.
Yep.
But my main goal is to actually become a gardener and have like a songwriter kind of into my other goal.
Yeah, my experience with you, Allie, is that you came in thinking you wanted to be a writer, and we gave her all these writing-based internships. She worked at the Beacon on campus and was doing their newsletter at ETPRI. I'm so sorry for her. And then she comes up to me and she's like, I don't know if I want to be a writer anymore, because, you know, it's one thing to like look at it and from afar and say that seems like something I want to do. But then also I think that's what college is all about, you know, for so many people. And I think, Allie, you're like a perfect, you know, example of trying something and deciding it's not for you and being able to say that. And I appreciate that honesty from you so much, because now we can be on the road to finding, you know, what you're really passionate about doing. I mean, you spend a lot of time at work, so you don't want to like do something you don't want to do.
Yeah. Well, that's why these early work experiences and internships and things like that are so critical, because you don't know until you actually do it if that's what you actually are looking for in the future, what kind of job you want to do. So that's why these types of college programs and work experiences are so important. Emma, could you talk a little bit about other types of work experiences and internships that other students have had?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm seeing.
We have I got a warning. We have about 5 minutes left.
Okay.
So they'll give me a 5-minute warning, and then they'll give me a 1-minute warning, and then
okay. So internships that they've had. So we've had a lot of people who come into the program who are interested in working with kids and being teachers. And so we have really great relationships with the Early Learning Center on the UT's campus. And then we also have gotten other internships at local daycares, or the Muse in Knoxville, which is a museum for a children's museum here in Knoxville. And we have a great partnership with them now that we work on. And they get a chance to work with kids. And so, you know, they also compare those internships with classes in the Child and Family Studies department. And so that is a really amazing kind of synergy that they're able to use, the things that they're learning in the classroom in their internships. And that's really, you know, same for Allie. She was taking English like creative writing courses at the same time she was doing these internships. And so we really are looking for opportunities for them. We have another student who is really interested in history. And my goal is, I haven't been able to do it yet, but I am always open to the students and the family suggestions for internships. And I want him to get an internship either at the on-campus museum or the East Tennessee Research Center here that also has a museum, because he's really into history and he has such an encyclopedic mind. And I think that, you know, his parents are like, well, we thought he'd do engineering, but, you know, he doesn't really want to do that. You know, so I told them, you know, well, he picked his history classes, he picked those. And so I would love to get him and see if he would love to do that work in a museum and just be a docent, or even if it's a volunteer during the internship program, he can kind of get an idea for what he wants to do. So we're always looking for things, for information from our students. They guide us in terms of what they want to do. And we have a list of internships, but I don't really give those to the families unless they ask for them and are just lost for ideas. What I do is say, well, what do you want to do? And we look for a place in Knoxville and the surrounding area that we can do that, and maybe find an avenue for that person. And so we're, you know, we're not always relying on our old connections. We're always constantly making new ones based on the students in the program.
So we had a question, do you have any sports related internships? And I know you said you don't like maybe name the specific internship sites, but have you had students who've had sports related internships in the past?
Yes. And we don't have a problem naming the internship sites. I just, you know, want them to be thinking from themselves rather than just being like, oh yeah, like that sounds cool, I'll do that just because someone suggested it, right? Self-determination. But yes, we've had a student intern with the Lady Ball basketball team. But mostly what we've had is we've had students who have worked with the sports department, the UT sports printing, the Spirit Squad here. We've had people work with the Thornton Student Life Athletic Center. And so they're working with the athletes. A lot of our students would go, so NCAA requires, and here at UT, the culture is the athletes have to sit in the first 2 rows of a class. So a lot of our students would go and do the checks and make sure those athletes, they got to get to know the athletes and they got to know, okay, I see them sitting in the first 2 rows, check, check. And that's like their task for the day. So, so it's a really cool job. It's interactive, you know, it's using lots of different skills and allowing them to get to know the sports culture. We've had a really good run with the sports department, and I anticipate that continuing.
That's great. All right. Well, I think we are about to be transported back to the main Zoom room. I got a 1-minute warning at some seconds ago. But thank you all so much for joining the breakout room. And I know we'll make sure we share the presentation that has Emma's contact information if you have other specific questions.